Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you. I'm glad you're here with us. Let me get rid of my banners that's floating around here right quick. I'm going to say hello to you guys, and I got to put up here who we are in case somebody comes in that's never seen us before. I need to do that. Let's see. Let me put that there. Let me put that there. There we are. There we are. Oh, how about that? Look, my screen is jumping. Oh my gosh. I don't understand what's happening with the technology, but anywho, I'm glad you're here with us. And my husband will be here shortly. I let him sleep in this morning. We had a great day yesterday. And my sister's here with me now because she came down. And my birthday is Tuesday. Tuesday, guys. I'll be 78, as they say. Can't believe it. That's a number I can't believe. But anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. And yesterday, my nephew and myself and my husband and his wife and his two kids, we all went to, and my niece, we all went to dinner at this place called Lasso's Brazilian Steak Restaurant. It was very good. And it was a real experience. Although I felt like I was a hillbilly, like Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies. And if you get for you guys who know what that is, I just felt like I didn't know what was going on because it is the style, the way they do their serving. It's a buffet style, or you have a choice of going on the other side and ordering as like a normal restaurant. But I'm gonna turn this light off. Yeah, that's better. And so it's buffet style, and they bring all of these different foods out to you. The meats are on a skewer, and there are all kinds of steaks and everything in there. They slice it off in front of you and put it in front. It is so cool, so cool. But I didn't understand any of it. And then they have a bar with the different things on it that you can go and put with your meats. But it was just such an experience. It was so good. He took me out to dinner for my birthday, and I told him, I said, well, I'll pay for your lunch. So I had to sneak something in on him because he never takes anything from me. I had to sneak something in on him. I had to send him a cash app. I said, you can't send it back. You can't send it back. So here comes my hubby.
Ooh.
Here he comes.
Ooh.
You're eating something too. So anyway, we had a wonderful time yesterday celebrating our birthdays. And came home.
16.
I'm only 16.
Mhm.
That's a song. She was only 16. Only 16. I can't remember the rest. Dun, 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 dun. I don't remember the words. But anyway, yeah, that's a song. So yeah, that's what we did yesterday. Came back home and just kind of laid around and chit chatted, and that was it. We had a wonderful time. You doing okay now?
Yeah.
He slept in this morning. Slept in, so he's finally getting started, cranked up, getting crunked up. Let me know if you hear and see us clearly. Please do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to see who's here. I know my sissy's here because she's in there. She's in the kitchen and upstairs, probably watching. So there she is. There she is. And then there is Yvette King. Hey, Yvette, how are you?
Miss Vet.
And then Sandra.
Miss
This
Sandra.
Mama Chris. Mama Chris is here. How you doing,
Miss
Mama
Chris.
Chris? You and Kevin. And then there's Kiara. Hey, sweetie pie. You hanging in there with us, girl. You hanging in there with us. Yes, you are. Deb is here. And my chicken and dumplings are here. Robert and Denise. They're here
Chicken
this
dumpling.
morning. Hey, y'all. Hey, Kathy. Good morning to you,
See
sweetheart.
Divine Grace there.
Sister Phyllis and Brother Edward, y'all here today. It's good to see you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Keely, I've been thinking about you, girlie. Keely and Mark. I'm so glad to see you on here this morning, Keely.
Yeah, been a while.
And then there's Dee Dee and George. Hey, y'all. Been thinking about you. Told you want to see y'all. I'm tired of telling you that now. You're going to have to do something. You have to do something. You have to do something. Because I'm tired of telling you that. We want to see you or hear from you. Something. We got to hear, got to have some kind of something. So anyway, you better get on the stick. Anyway. Yeah. We're so glad to have you with us, Kiara. So glad. Hey, Sandra. Thank you for letting us know. You can hear and see us, sweetie. Thank you so much. Yes. Let's see here. What else I see? Yeah, Sister Fizz is letting me know that they can hear and see us. All righty. Let's see. I don't really know what we're going to talk about, but I do know this, that there is so much happening on the inside of me. Just on the inside of me that I've come to a point in my journey, in my walk, where my mind doesn't know, but my heart does.
Mm-hmm.
My heart knows. And I used to have to depend on my mind so much. I had to have some kind of idea of what I was going to talk about, what I was going to say. But when I learned to speak from my heart and to speak based on where I am and how I'm navigating, how I'm coping, how all of those things, the words just seem to come. And I want to encourage you, if you have questions or comments, feel free to express them. And if we can address them, we will. So anyway, I wanted to just share that with you, that little bit with you. And by the way, I wanted to mention also that Brother Charles Blue is in the hospital, and he's asking for all of us to be prayerful with him. There's another family that we knew that we know that had some tragic things happening yesterday, a car accident, and it was fatal for some of them. So be in prayer with them as well. And I'm sure you've got people that you know that need that extra attention and prayer also. But the one thing that we have to remember, even in our praying for one another, is that God already hears, sees, and is in the situation, and is very present, and is always lovingly concerned. So we're not asking for God to jump in as if God doesn't know or that God doesn't care. And when we say that, I know we're speaking the language of separation, because there is no way that God could not be in the situation, because God is that is motivating and animating those bodies. And so we pray that their charts will allow them to be healed. We pray that their charts will allow them one more chance, and that this not be their exit portal from this life, if it be so, that their charts will not go against it. And I'm just grateful that God is already touching those who need that help this morning. And if you need it, it's for you as well. Let's do this. Let's say this mantra. I want you to just get quiet for a moment. If you're not quiet, I want you to get quiet. I want you to remove all distractions if you can. And take a deep breath in and let it out. Let's take another deep breath in. Deeper. And release it. And release all your concerns, all things that you would like to think about and be concerned about today. Just let them go. Even your plans that you have, just let them go. You don't need that right now. Any comment that the mind is making, you can kind of just sit it on the side. You don't need that right now. even wondering how this session is going to go. You don't even need that right now. And say this with me: be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still.
Ness.
Know.
This.
Know that.
This is.
I am.
Who you are.
I am.
You are.
Is God.
You are one with Him.
And so it is. And so it is. 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 And my mouse is sticking again, so I'm trying to do this little squatchy. This thing is.
The only distance between us or between God and being us is the sin of unbelief that it is impossible for anybody to be at a distance from God.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The long prayer should be reversed in another way, another motive. That is not doing it a long time to get through to God. Because if you have to pray 6-7 hours like we used to do, with the idea that it took that long to make a change,
Mm.
or it took that long for you to reach God, and He's already inside of you as your eternal self, with or without the explanation of receiving salvation, there's something wrong. There's something off track that's blocking you from seeing that there is no middleman, not even a you that you call yourself, the false self, cannot obstruct the communication with Him. That communication don't come and go just because you decided to think about Him or think about God where He is, or to go to a certain place and pray by yourself. It's like the man that was looking for God in different places in the earth and in the planets. And when he got tired and come back home, he found out that God was him looking for himself. And he found himself inside of the man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, people say, uh, I'm trying to get my prayer to go beyond the ceiling. It don't need to be.
Yeah.
Because what you're looking for and talking to is who you've always been inside the body. Remember what it said? Oh, most of us say we are the kingdom of God, or we are the tabernacle of God, just because we say He's in me,
Or because the Bible has said it.
because the Bible said it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a misplaced quote, a misplaced ideal. If you define definitions with eternal life, omnipotence, and omnipresent, never dying, never born again self, you will wake up
Mm-hmm.
and see that you are at the same address that God is.
Yes.
And that's right here in the present moment.
Yes. Yes.
So when we've been taught this all of our life, we got to get God's attention. That's the most ridiculous thing we could ever fall for. You can't get somebody's attention that is your attention.
Right. But everyone's not there
I
yet.
know they're
Yeah,
not
they're
there,
not
but
there
it's
yet.
it's
But it
time.
is true. It
It's
is
time.
true.
It's
It
time
is
for
true.
all believers in this planet to wake up to the I am Christ identity without
Mhm.
having to go back and say, that's blasphemy.
Well, I think what you're introducing to them, and which I know you've said it before, is a life that is less effort, a life that is less
Bringing
chat.
you to a rest.
Yes, less challenging in the sense that you've got to try to connect, try to reach God as if God is a remote object, and realizing that that is not what's happening, that God has never, ever been separated from you. In fact, we can jump even further than that and make a quantum leap into the fact that there's never been in us, there is only God here.
Mm-hmm.
Acting and playing as these units that we call ourselves as individuals. So that's where a lot of us have not even had a glimpse of that. And so we tend to go back and forth, like you said, prayer, trying to get God's response and feeling like God is not in on any of the things that we're experiencing. So that's the belief that we had. I like what Robert's mentioning here. He said the distance. Let me see if I can get my mouse to work here.
It was working then. There it is.
No, it's not working. I'm trying to get it to work. It's not working. Anyway, he says the distance is constructed of beliefs. I do not suggest believing anything. Only look closely at your beliefs concerning separation and watch them crumble, giving way to the knowledge of what is. Yes, yes. That's a. I think that sometimes when those of us who've have found our way to this opening, I'll say, we tend to we say what we know is true for people to be able to drop their beliefs and all of that, but I don't think that happens so quickly. Do you? Because I don't remember dropping all of my beliefs in an instant. I did not. Uh, not even when I embraced the truth. They didn't just fall away. There was a lot of struggle to let go of some of those beliefs.
The struggle is there because it was intended to be an asset and not a liability.
Yes, I understand that.
And that
Yes.
asset is the struggle is an indication that there's something that is trying to keep you from seeing what is in plain sight.
I agree. I agree. I
Now,
agree.
just because one day we say, I gave my life to the Lord and I live for Him, that's a fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
The life that we are is Him,
Mm-hmm.
and He is the life that we are,
Yes, yes.
which
Yes.
means you cannot get something. People fast and pray for 40 days and 40 nights. I heard it said they come out just as mean as they were before they went in.
Because a lot of us have done that. It was our ego that drove us to do it.
Ego
Because
spirituality.
yes, because we felt like if we did that, we would have more control, more power, more of an audience with God.
It
And
would be.
all of those are just beliefs that we had.
It would be. I see a lot of people on different sites. Some weigh 400, 200, 300. Some weigh 150. Some of them overweight.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember what the scripture said. Jesus said, "This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting." I heard one of the spiritual leaders say years ago, "This kind goeth not out but by prasting." That means
Yeah.
prasting means you are walking in a disciplined life. I've seen some people that when I started out was just as slim and skinny, And when they stayed up all night, ate late at night, went and ate anything that they wanted to, and then tried to hit a cold turkey fast, it would be one of the hardest things in the world to do. And they call that battling the devil and the flesh. I guess so, when you done filled the thing up with all kinds of junk, and then all the toxin is in there and it's fighting you. Well, you finally make the 40 days and 40 nights, but when you get through, you go right back doing the same thing all over again. That's not living a fasted life. That's living moments of fasting and then going back.
One of the things that's kind of helped me, and I know I've had my times when I was more focused on losing weight and all of that. Now my focus is on being healthy, not so much looking a certain way, even though losing weight does help you because your body's able to be more mobile and it relieves you of a lot of the inflammation and stuff like that in your joints. However, and it prevents you from a lot of the other systemic things. But focusing on health, it isn't so much about whether or not my body is a certain size. So I think the focus on constantly trying to lose weight, the focus on trying to do any particular thing kind of pushes it away from us. It pushes it away from us because we begin to think of that we don't want instead of what we do want.
We often say we got to fast and pray and clean up a little bit more.
Well, I haven't said that in a long time.
I've been a long time.
Yeah,
but I remember the old cliche, I got to clean up. If you don't clean up, God ain't going to do this and ain't going to do that.
That was about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't say that anymore.
And I found out the mystery unveiled was you can get so clean to where every time you move, you squeak. So you clean. And that will not get God closer or move him at a distance. Here's what's going on.
Because there's no such thing.
That's right. Here's what's going on. The mind and your feelings of the soul came here and got conditioned for anything like God to be at a distance from you, to make it hard for you to see what's very simple.
Yeah.
What's very simple is when I found out that Jesus Christ and myself and everybody else is one and the same, irregardless of your feelings, the mind thinking mean. How many times a day do your mind go back to when you was in school? How many times a day do you wake up in the morning feeling bad? How many times do you go to work and don't want to go and come home tired? What do you think? What do you think? What do you really think happened to God? Oh, I told him one time, I said, I'm getting ready to take a shower. And if you don't want to get wet, I think you need to stay out here, sit on the toilet lid till I get through, and then jump back in me. Mm-hmm. That does not work. That is not true. When you wake up, all of you wake up to the eternal essence of your true Christ identity as the no dying, no birthing, eternal self. I always tell people this. It would be good for you to invest. I know there's some crazy things out there. It would be good for you to take a chance, study NDE, near-death experience. Study into what happens at night in the dream state that you go through. You feel like you've been somewhere after you wake up. Try investigating deliberately into the science of how it works, what happens when one leaves their bodies at the departure from the physical world. Study that with people who have had I've had a genuine experience with this, so I can talk this. I'm not trying to change anybody, but if you're going to go all the way, you might as well go all the way. Now hear this. Jesus in the book, if it is true or not true, that does not disturb my little bitty nerve anymore like it used to. Oh, yes, he did die for our sins. All right, that's fine. But here it is. What if he didn't die for your sins? Would you still be eternal?
Mhm.
Well, somebody say, nah, I ain't eternal until I receive
So,
it.
so what you're saying, basically, what I hear you saying is, it doesn't matter now. We don't have to prove
Don't
which way
have to.
it is, either or. If he did or if he didn't.
What a burden this
If,
thing.
if he existed actually or if he didn't. It doesn't matter if the Bible is true or the Bible is not
That's
true.
right.
It doesn't matter if any of the things that we believe as Christians is true or not. We don't believe it isn't true. It isn't important to determine whether or not this biblical thing is actual and that thing is not. And it's that's all of that has no bearing on you finding out who you are
Mhm.
or you coming to a knowledge of who God is in and as you, in the essence of you.
Happy birthday, Leslie.
Mhm.
But listen to this. You go from 1, 2, 3 to your birthday, 62nd,
62.
62 birthday. The Christ that you are don't get old.
No, only the body has been here 62 years.
That should say, and I put it like this. Why not, since you are really separated from God, let's take this as an example. Let's see if you can find your nose. Look everywhere you want to, anywhere in the house, and see if your nose is attached to you. Don't stop looking until you find it. Every place you go in the house looking for your nose is with you. It's attached to your body. That metaphor is just as simple as seeing. You ain't gonna get rid of God because you smoke pot, eat dope, take shots,
Eat dope.
drugs, eat dope. I don't smoke dope, eat dope.
I
It don't
don't know
make
what
no
dope you
difference
eat,
if
but
you drink so much moonshine till it runs out every opening in your body. You are not going to run Jesus off. And this fallacy of backsliding is a mind, mental, psychological thing of being away from God because you went back to every prostitute, lesbian, whore, whatever you want to call them, in the state that they're in, they have not run God off. They can't get rid of God by immorality. You put your mind into the immoral state, which gives off the belief that you are separated. That's the deepest sense of separation. Demon possession and all these things that I just listed there, they are nowhere capable of making God leave you alone.
God can't leave you
It
alone.
can't. It's no way. I found this out. And that don't mean because you're a monkey, you have to show your tail now. But if you do, if you're going to act like a monkey and show your tail, I want you to know that everything is well. Monkey with or without a tail. You cannot omit God just because you acted ugly.
Yes, yes.
Jesus said, if you've done it unto the least of them, you've done it unto him. That means this: whatever you do to yourself, you're doing it to the Christ inside of you.
I got some comments if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Robert saying it is impossible to transfer or impart what is being pointed to. No one can experience your personal discovery. This discovery requires no belief. And that is exactly right. My sister and I were talking about we were mentioning on Tuesday night, we talked a lot about in our conversation online awareness and what awareness is and what that means when we say we are awareness. And I kind of recontextualize it by using the word conscious. So if I asked you right now, are you conscious? Most of you, unless something's wrong with you, you would say yes. Being conscious is what awareness is. You are conscious. Even if you're in deep sleep, how do you know you had a good deep sleep? Because something
Was
was
aware, conscious of.
conscious of that deep sleep, even though you don't remember anything with your mind. Consciousness, awareness is what you are. And God is that consciousness and awareness. You don't have to be aware of anything. If you just say, I'm conscious, that has nothing to do with what's in the room that you see and perceive. That's simply your state of being. You are conscious. You are here. That is how simple it is. That is what you are. That being that is conscious and aware. That is what you are. If you can remain there and not identify so heavily with the physical apparatus or with the mental thought life, then you remain in a state of sometimes bliss, sometimes just contentment, peace, and then sometimes in the midst of a chaotic situation, you are not touched by it. But most of us try to look for that as an arrival, like I've arrived, but you are already there.
There's
Because
no
when I
arrival.
ask you if you're conscious, I want you to type it in. Are you conscious right now? Type it in, whether yes or no. Are you conscious? And I'm asking you what you're conscious of. I'm asking you, are you just conscious? Period. Type it in, yes or no. Because, well, I'll share this too. I shared it with my sister, and you might have heard me say this before. I remember in one day in deep meditation, this has been some time back, several years back, in deep meditation, doing some guided meditation. I had the experience of what looks like a being that stretched up out of me. When I say me, I mean this body and this personality. It had no facial features. It was shaped like a human being, but it had no facial features. And I remember distinctly in the experience, thank you, Mama Chris. I remember distinctly in the experience seeing this, and it felt like it was me, not the body me, not the mind me, but it was a me. And it was looking out over the globe at everything that was moving and happening. And it was searching so frantically for an identity, something to identify with. So it kind of left me, after having that experience, it kind of left me knowing that what we are is faceless, genderless, nameless. It has really no identity until it comes into a form, and that form may be female, it may be male, and it identifies with the form at some point. And then it begins to identify with its thought life. And the thought life, of course, we know is constructed by all of the things that you experience in this life, everything in your environment, everything you've heard and experienced and have done to you and have you done. And all of those things of accumulated uh, conditionings, then you identify with that, the thought patterns of that. And then but those things they're never who you are. You are still that genderless, nameless being that has nothing to do with this physical apparatus. And so we don't walk around thinking like this every day, but this is exactly what you are. So when we say I am that, if I ask you, you're conscious, are you conscious? You could say I am.
Yeah.
That's what the I am is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you conscious? I am. You are that.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing to get. There is nothing to strive for. You are that. You are conscious. And if you remain as that, you'll see all of the other stuff as things that have been added to you, and things that have been added to that you are, that made you believe you were something other than what you are. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way it's been given to me. That's the way I understand it. And it's so simple that people can't grasp it. It's so simple because and this is why I say I don't know what that is that I am, because it's genderless, nameless. It has no identification with form at all, except to live in a form. And yet, I don't know what God is either, because God is neither he's genderless, or it is genderless and nameless and all of the things. We can't even describe what God is. We can say it's spirit, we can say it's divine intelligence, we can say all of those things. We can say God is love, but those are just words and labels we tack on to something that we can't really explain. I don't know what God is, and I don't know what I am, but I do know this, that whatever God is, I am, because I am. And being conscious makes me what I am. I am. If you're conscious, you can say, I am.
That's right.
It's so simple. It is so simple that most people miss it.
It's not about belief. It is a direct experience. But then it's not about an experience. It's about awareness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you full? To be filled with the Spirit, we use a thing. The more we see a person shaking and speaking in tongues and praying and talking from Scripture, that they are fully filled with the Spirit.
No.
Then I found out as we went that none of those statements that I just made is true about the way to get or to lose God. I've seen people in the store, they hadn't seen me in a long time, and I could tell I can look behind me without turning my head and see them looking me up and down. I look different now than I did in the body when I was younger. And they trying to figure out, am I still the same one? Is this Brother Sawyer? Is this Pastor Sawyer? One lady was in the doctor's office telling me, said, have you ever heard of Brother Sawyer?
Pastor Sawyer.
Yeah, Pastor Sawyer. I said, yeah. She would begin to name all kinds of things about me.
She was telling you about Pastor Sawyer. Didn't know she was sitting
Didn't
there talking,
know she was
talking to Pastor Sawyer.
Now, do y'all hear this? Please hear this. This woman I was sitting there in the doctor's office, and she was trying to describe me to me.
Told you all about what was happening in Pastor Sawyer's life.
Yeah, what was going on in his ministry, in his life. And boy, she was just going on and on. I did not tell her I was in. Jesus said this. Have I not been? They said, show us the Father, that it suffices for us. He said, have I not been so long with you, you not known it? Have I not been in the presence of this woman, this lady, and was still the presence in front of this lady in the doctor's office, sitting right there in the room with me, and she was talking about me in my face. Like,
I often wonder what would she have done if she'd have found out that you were.
I didn't say one word because I was not interested in recognition. Did you hear that? Not interested in being recognized. I let her continue on till the nurse came out and got her. And I think I said something to him about Reverend Sawyer, and she continued to talk and went on into the other room with the nurse. I never did tell her I was him. You don't have to have somebody on the outside to tell you that you are one with him. You need to know this by when Paul said, when it pleased God who separated me from my mother's womb to reveal himself in me.
That verse is really, really profound. If you stop and think about it, what does it mean to be separated from your mother's womb? I don't think he was talking about the birth process. I think he was talking about the fact that he had now distanced himself from the physical aspect of himself.
He found out the truth
and revealed that was
That's
the
right.
revelation of Christ. God. And that was the revelation of Christ. The moment he began to realize he was not his fleshly body and his mind and his feelings, that was when the Christ was revealed to him.
When God in you as you is ready for you to see what we're talking about, rest your horse. Do not ride him anymore.
Mhm.
Let the horse be revealed to you. That the minute you see this, it will come only by revelation from the spirit of your eternal self inside this body that will get through to your mind. Habits broken, that's done by God.
That's right.
Patterns that you're trying to get changed, that's changed by God.
Yeah.
Trying to stop something that you've been doing that you know is not right
Or not good for you.
or not good for you, that's got to be done by direct experience with God.
It has to be some
I'm
revelation.
sorry.
It has to be a revelation
If you fasted
that
and prayed,
interrupts it. That
that's right.
interrupts the
Right.
pattern. Mhm.
This planet was designed to interrupt.
If there's no interruption to stop the pattern, you'll continue to do those things.
Miss Phyllis, I'm looking at you saying yes. There are some things that I know that are very personal between all of us, that we want certain things changed in our families and in ourselves.
Yeah.
You can go about and do it and change, but let me help you to know the mystery. The mystery behind this is that in plain sight, the only way you're going to change is by the Spirit of God. And I fussed with my uncle when he was sitting there in the chair eating a piece of cold chicken. He had the shotgun sitting there beside him. The pot-belly wood stove was hot as cayenne pepper. And Miles, the little boy, was talking about how God was going to get him. Do you think that changed him? No. He went to the churches in the country, the big meetings, and as soon as he left church, he went to the moonshine house out in the woods and come home drunk as a wheelbarrow with a flat tire and one handle with a brick in it. And he got in the driveway, let me and my aunt out, and went back out in the street whore hopping. That did not change him going to church. What had to change him, and he still didn't change it much. First, he got sick and couldn't move. That changed some, but quality change take place when the Spirit of who is the Christ inside of you make the move of changing. That is quality change.
Well, and then I think sometimes I'm going to say it like this, not sometimes. Spirit, God, however you want to say it, essence, love, whatever, is always ready for our transformation.
I feel the glory
always
of God
ready
inside.
For our transformation. However, our focus on the outward change of others and the situations, where we tend to put all of our focus there and expect God to intervene or Spirit to intervene, or I'm going to try to use my imagination to intervene, my confession and my positive confessions and my affirmations. I'm going to do something to change outward situations, outward things, and yet we do all of that and not realize that the change outside of us will never take place until the change happens on the inside of us. There in every situation, the reason you're in the situation, and I'm learning this, the reason you're in the situation is because it is telling you need to change. There is an inner change that needs to be made inside of you. Once that change has taken place, your focus isn't even on outside things changing. It's not even on the other person changing. It's on I need to make this inner change because I'm disturbed by it, because there's something in me And this is where you have to be really, really honest with yourself. I'm disturbed about the other person because there's something in me that person is pulling my strings. That person is control over my mind. That person is making me feel a certain way. I'm the one who's having the problem. And so I must have the interchange take place on the inside of me. And this is where we miss it because our focus stays on the outside. It stays on the outside.
A priest made a statement to our president at a funeral. And the funeral was one of our presidents that passed. The priest said, looking down at President Trump on the platform podium, she looked him straight in his face and told him, have mercy on the people. Her statement from God to him will and would not penetrate his conscience until the Spirit of God break that wall in his mind.
Right. And that says to me, the disturbance I may have about him or anybody else, I can't change him.
And you can't change him looking through the television.
I can only deal with the disturbance
that's
that
right.
they make.
That's right.
I can only deal with that.
Now, when that is rested in you, you are no longer identifying with the trauma, the fragmented mind, and the distress of the aggravation of trying to pray till he is changed. Now, he will not change until God do something to it.
And he's not going to change until we find the interchange in ourselves. So anyway,
what we're looking at in these areas, what we're talking about, what you looking for is where you're looking from, and what you see in others, you see in your finite self. Exactly. And that change that you're trying to make in people, I can preach to you all day long. If God, your eternal self, don't hit the switch inside of you, you're going to be a monkey with your head stuck in the ground and your butt hanging out.
I think that's an ostrich.
I call it a monkey. An ostrich or a monkey.
One of the things in the conversation I had with my sister yesterday, and we always have some good conversations. But anyway, she made a statement. She said she knows that there's a lot of hurtful, harmful, tragic things happening in this world. But at the same time, all of that is happening, there is so much more beauty and loving things that are happening in this world. Where am I going to choose to put my focus? Where am I going to choose to put my attention? Because what's happening that's bad and negative, I may be able to do something about it. But if I can't do anything about it, there's no need for me to keep putting my attention on it because it does nothing for anyone. So if there is more beauty and love that's happening in this world, why would I not put my attention there? Because if I'm going to focus on all of this stuff that's bad, then by Jiminy, you need to get out there and do something to try to change it if it's that bad.
Jiminy. I never heard you say my Jiminy.
Just get on out there and do something so that you can relieve your own internal suffering about it. It doesn't do any good to complain about Trump, the GOP, and the ABC, the Democrats, the left, the right, the war, it doesn't do any good to have just constantly yapping about that. If you're not gonna do anything, just make the pivot and start looking for the beauty. And I said this to Renee when she made that comment. I said, all of this is God's garden. I said, just because there's poison ivy in it doesn't mean it's not a beautiful garden. And I think we focus so much on the poison ivy. We've forgotten about the roses and the gardenias and all of the beautiful things that are here. There's so much more here that is worth paying attention to. You said this years ago. You said it's too many good things to preach about for me to go ahead and keep preaching about sin.
Yeah.
You said, and that's what I'm saying. Focus on all of
good things.
Why focus on all of that? Why?
Listen to this: sin, sickness, teaching and preaching of Satan, binding and loosening,
Mhm.
all earthly problems coming and going, is not going to return you to the consciousness of being one with God until the God that inside of you, your eternal self, reveals to you, like Apostle Paul said, when it pleased God at such a time that he see fit to reveal his son in me, and then I'm gonna see him in me as me from my mother's womb, from the womb. You know, this dimension was designed. That's the reason why we came here. We knew that this dimension, before we came here, would do everything possible to keep us from recognizing that home that we say we came from is the home that's inside of us.
You realize, as long as I see God as a him in me or outside of me, as long as I see God as a him in me or outside of me, I'll never see God as me.
That's right.
Because he's going to always be a him.
Now, here's another one. If you're around anybody that you know that haven't found out who they truly are at the Christ identity, is one or two things you can do. You can let God inside of you make you numb to it where you don't pay any attention, or you can fall back on your fragmented, separated self and stay away from them and leave them alone. Whatever suits your fancy. But at the same time, to stay around them or not stay around them, the change has got to come from inside of both of you.
Yes, it does.
Now, we can go on into this for another 50 years, and all you hear is mental, psychological talking until one day you see them funny books where they be talking and that little cloud appear over the head and the light come on, boom. When the light switch is hit, it'll hit you so unexpectedly, or it may be a deliberate act like it happened to me. But it took me 50 years to understand that when Jesus appeared to me, he was appearing to me from inside myself. And now I am fully persuaded that I know where he lives, I know where his address is, I know what size shoe he wear, I know what he drive, I know what he eat, I know what he like to eat and don't like to eat.
And it's a he.
It's a he or she, depending on what gender he's in the physical body.
Is he a he?
He could be a he or a she.
Can he be not either one?
Could not be either one also.
That's my point.
Ain't no hang up either way you go. Look.
Well, my point of saying is he a he or a she, because that implies that he's not me.
That's right.
If he's a he or
she,
that implies that he's not me.
How they do it?
I'm saying again. If I say he's a he or she, it implies that he's not me.
That's right.
Robert says we must simply notice when we are reacting, because there we are not choosing to act.
Who is that reacting?
What is that?
Yeah.
Find your peaceful center and anchor yourself. Choose when you act in any manner. Reaction is how we are manipulated. Amen to that.
Your mama used to tell you, go out and get a switch and you come back with a stick. Sometimes you come back with a switch. Sometimes you come back with a baseball bat. Yeah. She pop you upside the head, pop you on the butt and run you to your room. Did that change you? It physically could have changed you because you scared you didn't want your butt beat no more. My mama had a bad backhand leg. If you could leave the room, she'd tell you to do something. You think you done went around the corner, around the other room, and she hear you mumbling. Before you know it, here come this electrical extended arm from the back end. That thing will come around the corner on the door and slap you upside your head. And you wonder, how did she hear that? Mama could hear. Now, God in you is hearing this conversation, and every thought that you have that come up, God don't wait until you pray to tell him about what you're thinking before he gets the message. God is the messenger talking from his message self to his messenger self, and he's answering his messenger self with his identity in you.
Mhm.
I rest my case.
You rest in your case.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh, uh, uh.
Excuse me, I got a sneeze.
Bless you.
I
Bless
got a
you.
sneeze stuck in my
Bless you.
pipes.
Bless you. Listen, we have been here for an hour. We're gonna get ready to take off
Don't
here.
take long for that time.
I wanted to say happy birthday to Leslie and all of the rest of you who have birthdays this month. My birthday's Tuesday. I'll be 78.
Give me
78.
November and I'll be
Yeah.
79.
Yeah, I'll be birthday. My birthday will be Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday night. I'm not sure Pastor Norman will be because he's busy running around and doing his thing, and he may not be back on Tuesday night. But we'll be here at 7 o'clock, live and in color, and we look forward to seeing you there with us, here with us. And we just pray that the message that you got from us today was something that
Was
benefited
sufficient
you.
enough.
Mhm.
At least he put a spark in there somewhere.
Yeah. So give us a thumbs up if it resonated with you.
And let me tell you something. Everything that you're thinking and said online, whether you visibly make yourself known that we are talking to you, is being heard from inside of your body by the Christ identity.
Yes. Remember, no change on the outside will take place in any person or any situation. And I won't say until there's change in you, but the change that you're looking for outside of you is the change that needs to take place on the inside of you, the inner change. So turn your eyes away from all of that stuff on the outside, the other person. Stop looking at the other person like they need to change. They need to be the one to change. They need to be the one that change and don't do like they used to. No, I'm the one disturbed on the inside, so I need that inner change.
Divine Grace 369. Come by and see us again. We'll talk some more of this heavy, deep talk we talked when you was here the last time.
Yeah. So now we want to ask you to be diligent again about giving. Thank you so much, Mama Chris, for saying happy birthday to me. I appreciate it. And we will be back on Tuesday night. Thank you so much for all of the gifts you've been sending, the cash apps and the offerings and tithes that you've been sending to Cornerstone. Thank you so much. You can do that real easily by texting it to CLC Greensboro to 73256. Or you can do the PayPal, and that's right there on your screen. Or you can send it in the mail if you don't have access to the online thing. You want to just send it in the mail. Or even if you want to send it to Pastor and myself, you can always send it there, and Vern will make sure we get it. If you send it to the P.O. Box, and it's 36259 Greensboro, 27416 is the zip. Or you can just go to Cash App. Cash App is where you can bless Pastor and myself. And a lot of you have done that. Thank you so
Appreciate
much
every bit
for
of
that.
it.
Pastor and I are looking
All
at right
you,
now,
thank
we've
you.
got to get our crawl space encapsulated to the tune of about $15,000. And so we're right in the middle of all of that. And so if you can help us and bless us, we'd appreciate it. In the meantime, we will go and have some lunch. And I hope you have a great day. I really hope you have a great day. And
That song said, my Lord getting us ready for a
that
great day.
my Lord getting us ready for that
great day. My Lord getting us ready for that great day. Who shall be able to stand?
We're going to all be able to stand on.
We're standing right now in the midst of
right
Christ.
now. That was kind of weak. We did that a little bit weak, but that.
Well, we can push. I mean, we can push it on out there and sing it like we're in church now.
It was a little weak.
My Lord, get us ready for the great day. Yeah, I am ready for the great day. Who shall be able to stand?
There you go. I'm gonna rest my case on that. I'm gonna see you on the turnaround. See you on the turnaround.
Glory.
If I can get this mouse to work.
You're gonna have to scrape it.